Welcome to the Unmistakably Magic Podcast. I'm RJ.
And I'm Court.
We are two lifelong fans of Disney parks and all theme parks.
Each week, we bring you the latest news from Disney parks and beyond.
Plus, this week, we're going to be talking about the top 10 smartphone apps for theme parks.
Yeah, this is not a very common top 10 within the community at all, I would say.
No, so we're both out of town this week, so we're going to skip the news so we're not, super out of date or anything.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to give you a top 10 apps, and we think this is kind of an important topic. So
It really is. Yeah.
It's episode number 16.
Let's jump right in.
Well, like we said in the intro, talking smartphone apps, so we figured we'd go a little techie with the music.
I do have, very Tron-y with the music,
That's right.
we should say. I do have one bit of news, though.
What?
I got a new cup.
For
those of you that didn't notice on last week's episode,
podcast.
I got this beautiful Hoth cup
It is a pretty cool cup.
from Disneyland. It's sweet.
That is sweet.
Disney Parks exclusive.
That's right.
It's
It's not
nowhere.
it's not as good as my vintage original Epcot logo here, but to
It's
each
close.
their own.
It's close. It's close. If I ever go on a certain Unmistakably podcast, I could bring this
That's
and
true.
fit right in.
That's true. Do they even drink water,
I don't know what they
or
do.
do they drink blue milk the whole time?
See, they don't record themselves like we do.
Oh, so
Visually.
they probably just have like Nalgene's.
Oh man,
Super lame.
so basic.
So sick.
Anyways, that's it for the news this week.
Yeah. Well, like we said, we're going to talk about smartphone apps. This is kind of an
It's
untalked
an
about. I don't,
untapped list. I would
Topic,
say.
yeah.
Untapped topic. There's a lot of apps out there.
But if you remember in episode 10, we listed a smartphone as I don't remember where it landed, but
It was up there. I think it was like 2 or 3
Was
or something.
it?
It was top 5
Was it?
for
Yeah.
sure. Top
I
5
guess
for
we can
sure.
Look back, we have the notes, but technology.
Who prepares for shows?
So I mean, they're working their way in the parks. We see it as a really kind of vital part of a trip to the theme park, and it doesn't matter to the theme park really. I mean,
Any
some of this
park,
is going to be a
really.
little specific to maybe Disney or Universal,
yeah.
and we'll get into that as it comes up. But I would say that this is pretty.
This is pretty. I don't want to say
I was
universal.
going to say Universal. I was like trying to come up with a synonym for Universal. Pretty generic to
Yeah.
all theme parks,
Yeah.
because a lot of theme parks you can use all of these apps.
Yeah. And a lot of theme parks are even developing their own apps right now that you can use that are specific to those parks.
Yeah,
Which that'll come up
that'll
later
come up
on.
a little later too.
But I know because when I was researching this topic, I found some for King's Dominion. They had their own app.
Really?
Cedar Point had their own app.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, think about
Magic Mountain didn't have its own app though.
really.
It was a fan made app. Yeah,
Oh,
but it was.
I'm surprised.
It did
For
everything
as
that
big
the
as
other
that park
ones did.
actually is. But
Yeah. But it did everything that the other official apps do.
Yeah.
So
Really.
I mean, might as well just use it.
What's kind of the loss there? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you think about it. I mean, think about all the places you go that have apps now. Restaurants, everybody. So it's really not that hard to have an app. So,
Yeah.
but I think finding the right apps that are the most useful for theme parks is really kind of why we did this top 10,
Yes, without a doubt.
because it can be kind of convoluted, and there's a lot of apps out there,
There's
and
so
there's
many
very
apps.
specific apps, which if that's what you need, then use that. But
There's also very generic apps that
don't really
don't really
a
do
lot.
anything.
Yeah.
Like turn your flashlight on.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, let's start with some honorable mentions.
Yeah. Okay. I can dig that.
So one of the ones that I came across a lot was the Hidden Mickey app. So if for those of you that don't know, Disney's famous for hiding Mickey in architecture and artwork, in the rides, in everything.
Really anything in a theme park.
I mean, they're like in the vents sometimes. They're in the ground. They're in the wall. They're in the brick. They're in the.
He's in rope.
So
sometimes.
I can't remember the guy's name. Oh, I thought of it earlier, but
the Hidden Mickey guy.
Yeah, he wrote a book.
He did,
and now he has an app.
I did not know he had an app.
He has an app, and so it's really cool. So you can pull up where you are, what ride you're on, or what queue you're in, and it'll say, "Hey, look, when you're at this point in the queue or this point in the ride, look to your right or your left or whatever, and there's a hidden Mickey." And a lot of times too, I think with the app, you actually have a picture like this is what you're looking for, which is
that's
really cool. And
And
the book is fun too.
The book's really fun because I have the book.
Somewhere I do too. I've been
And
going through my books and finding
all the Disney books.
all the Disney books. Like, oh, I forgot I own this.
Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't know he had the app. Is the app free?
No,
It's like $1 or something.
something like that. I'll have to look it up, but
Relatively
that's why it's kind
cheap.
of an honorable mention. It's specific to Disneyland, Disney World.
Okay.
That's kind of why it didn't make the top 10. But
Yeah.
it's a really fun app.
Yeah.
Good way to
still
entertain.
Very. It I could see it adding a lot to your theme park experience over there, which I would say that would be one of our requirements.
Yes, that it's going to add to your
to the
experience.
Yes.
Or at least make it easier or something.
Yeah.
Another specific one to a park in the honorable mentions is the Disney Shop Parks app, which is a new app that Disney just released this year.
Very useful.
Very useful. So if
Very
you're
good.
looking for an item and you're in the parks, you can scan barcodes. If you say you need to find like the extra large version or like a small or whatever, and you can only find the medium.
Or you want the Tatooine version of my cup
Yeah.
as opposed to the Hoth
And
version.
you didn't see it at the store you're at, but you scan the barcode or you look for it, it'll tell you where it's at, or it actually offers to buy it for you to buy it through the app and have it shipped to like your hotel room if you're staying in Disney World, or meet you at the front gate.
That's
And again, the only reason it probably didn't make our top 10
because
was
it's
because it's
Disney
specific.
If this were a Disney
If this,
apps, you need to go to Disneyland.
yeah, if we're doing top 10 apps for Disney World, absolutely that would be up there.
which we might do later on. We might get some super specific shows here.
Yeah, because
in
there are
the future.
because as I looked and I did some research, there are a lot of
specific apps.
very specific apps. In fact, I just put in my general thing, honorable mentions here. I said other, and I put countless apps specific to each park because I saw ones
so
for
many.
dining. I saw ones for transportation specific to Disney. There was one where it would literally point you to the nearest coin press machine. I mean, literally anything you're thinking about for Disney, there's an app for that.
That is awesome.
Which is part of the Disney's the community for Disney.
Yeah.
Where they thrive. They really do a good job.
Without a doubt.
So that's why they're not in the top 10 is because one, they're so some of them are so specific. Like I said, the coin press one, I was like, what? When I found that one, I was like, excuse me.
This exists.
But if you're a coin press collector, that's probably the 99 cents or whatever that app is totally worth it to you.
Worth it for you, 100%.
I don't really do coin presses. I have a few because they're fun, but I'm not going to seek out a specific one, or I don't need to collect them all. So
they're not Pokemon for you?
No, I don't need to collect them all. So, but be aware that those exist, and that's why they're an honorable mention. If there's something that you really love to do, look up and see if there's an app for that.
There's most likely an app for it.
Especially when it comes to Disney.
Yeah.
And again, this top
without
10
a
is
doubt.
generic to all theme parks, and that's part of the reason some of these didn't make the top 10.
Yeah. Well, our last one on these honorable mentions is entertainment for kids.
Yes.
And that one isn't really much so that it's specific to Disney.
And it necessarily may not be an app. It might be video. It might be
games
or something. So it's really dependent on your kid. And it depends on the queues you're in, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you're in a Six Flags queue, boy, you better have some videos queued up.
Yeah.
If you're in a Disney queue, it's in
depending on which queue.
If it's Fantasyland, you're going to want some videos queued up.
Yeah, you might want a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse episode or something, so.
Yeah.
So, and again, it may or may not be an app. It might just be a video on your phone or whatever, too, so.
But it's also just under the assumption that not everybody has kids.
That's true, too. So again, we didn't want to put it in the top 10.
Yeah.
Another thing, just a tip when it comes to phones is make sure you free up space on your phone. That'll come up as we kind of talk through this.
Yes.
So if you have a bunch of photos, download them. or
even use the cloud storage.
Yeah.
You can set up your own cloud system pretty easily.
Or things like Dropbox will automatically do it, and you
Yeah.
can sign up for an account, and I think you get 2 gigs free.
Something like that.
And a lot of times you can do other things like share, and you get a few more. And
if you're a student, you get unlimited for free.
or like me, I pay my 99 cents a month to iCloud, and I get 50 gigabytes.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Or if you're a student, you get unlimited on Google as well. If you're a student, life hack.
Yeah.
Be a student. You get a lot of free
.edu
stuff.
email. Yeah. And then the other one we talked about in episode 10 is the battery backup, which did we ever come up with an official term for that? I feel like because it just depends.
Fuel rod.
The fuel rod, the battery backup.
I don't know what we're calling
external power pack. I mean,
whatever you want to call it.
Essentially, we're going to give you a top 10 list of things you're going to be using throughout the day, and your phone is going to die if you don't charge it.
Without a doubt.
So,
without a doubt.
Now, granted, Disney parks, as we talked about in episode 10, have added the fuel rod.
Well, only at
kiosk.
Disney World.
Oh, Disney World.
Not at Disneyland yet.
And like we said, too, in episode 10, there's a ton of options on Amazon, ranging from $5 up to...
You can buy it for 85 cents.
Really?
I saw some the other day for like 50 cents.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I was at some conference, and they were giving them away for free.
Yeah, you just hand them out.
So just grab one of those, grab a cable for your phone, and be able to charge it.
Yeah.
That's just a big tip.
You're going to need it with the knowledge we're about to give you.
What's our number 10, Court?
Well, our number 10 isn't really one app, but it's several. It's travel apps.
Okay. So this might be specific to how you're getting to that park, or how you're getting around that park, or whatever.
Or whatever area of the country you're going to, or whatever country you're going to.
Yeah.
So this includes like official airline apps, official airport apps, like Google Maps or Google Earth, ride-sharing apps like Uber or Lyft.
Or other ones.
Or other ones like
and I know
some taxi apps.
Taxi cabs sometimes will have an app too.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is just your general apps that you should have for when you're traveling.
Yeah.
I wouldn't include the next one in there.
What?
Number 9 is weather.
Okay.
I would almost include that in travel, but not quite, because weather can change so drastically when you're in a park.
And so, I mean, this is one where, again, you can get just a generic weather app, like your phone probably has one built in. I know iOS does, and I'm assuming Android.
Not.
But you can
Weather
Channel
really
or whatever.
Easily. Yeah.
You can get a free one, or you can go to pretty advanced where you're watching the radar. You're watching weather radar live.
Yeah.
And I saw a couple in my research that would alert you. You set your location, and then it would alert you if it's predicting rain or weather in that area.
Oh,
which I thought that was kind
smart.
of a cool one.
That is very good, especially for theme park stuff.
Yeah.
So any really weather app, it just depends on how in depth you want to get with it.
Yeah, and how much you want to spend. Because again,
That's
the
true.
Weather Channel one's free.
Yeah.
iOS has a free built-in one it just shows you a generic forecast.
Yeah.
Some of them go to a 10-day forecast, some of them are 7, some of them are 3, whatever. So it's going to depend on your need. But weather one is just huge because
that can dictate where you spend your day. Especially, I'm thinking like Disney World. If it's supposed to be rainy, I'm going to Hollywood Studios or Epcot.
Where a lot more of it's indoors.
90% of Epcot's inside.
Yeah.
90% of the rides at Epcot are inside. I think all of the rides at Epcot are inside.
Well, you have that little
except for
chunk
Test Track.
of Test Track, yeah.
99.9% of rides at Epcot are inside.
Other than one chunk of a ride, yeah.
So, like, if it's supposed to be raining, I'm going to either Epcot or Hollywood Studios. If it's supposed to rain for the whole day. If it's only supposed to rain for, like, a part of the afternoon, I'm going to Animal Kingdom.
And again, this is where an advanced one might tell you a little more of like, hey, we're predicting it to rain between noon and 2, but not the rest of the day. So you might make your decision based on that.
Yeah.
Or go, hey, it's supposed to rain at noon. Let's make a let's do lunch at noon.
Let's do a dinner reservation at this, or lunch reservation. Yeah, at this spot.
Exactly.
Or
so
let's make sure we don't have a fast pass for Expedition Everest at 1 if it's supposed to be raining then.
So this can dictate so much of your day. I mean, it can dictate your outfit. It can dictate what you need to bring with you, in terms of if you need to bring rain gear or that kind of stuff too,
and it
or
can,
sunscreen or both, or
Yeah, and it can not only dictate what park you go to, but if you're going to like Cedar Point, it can dictate where you're going to spend your time in that park and throughout the day.
That's true.
Because you're not going to be standing in line for Top Thrill Dragster while it's raining.
Might as well go running.
Yeah, might as well go on. I forget their Ghost Blasters ride name,
but it's indoors.
But they're indoor. Yeah. They're indoor like shooter ride, dark ride, dark shooter ride.
Is that the industry
what would you
term?
Call
I
it?
don't know. I don't know.
What do you call those types of rides where it's a dark ride and you're shooting targets?
Probably a dark shooter. Yeah,
dark shooter.
Yeah.
Anyways, you'd be riding that while it rains, and then you'd go grab lunch somewhere, and then when it's done raining, you'd know a general time of when it's supposed to stop raining. That's when you get in line for like Top Thrill Dragster or one of the more popular rides.
Yeah, this is gonna dictate a lot of your day. So this is where maybe investing in a good app or making sure you know how to use the app you do have.
Yeah. And you also have the internet at your disposal.
Yeah, so presumably you could get on weatherchannel.com or weather.com and
get everything for free.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. But the app is convenient, so
very much so. And it's a top 10 list of apps, not top 10 list.
And that's why it's 9, because again, like you said, the internet's out there.
It's a thing.
Or turning on the local TV news and seeing what their weather,
yeah.
The information's out there beyond an app. So that's number 9. Number 8, I put this under restaurant review apps. This is like your Yelps, your Urban Spoon. I don't know. I use those too. I don't know what else. I'm sure there's more.
I don't use restaurant review apps. I use People.
Well, that helps too. Yeah. Now this is going to be a little bit park specific.
Yeah.
Because some of your parks probably aren't going to dictate. Their Yelp or whatever isn't going to dictate the difference between the hot dog stand and like the pizza place.
Yeah, like we said at our local theme park,
Elitch Gardens, it's not going to dictate the difference between, that's the barbecue place versus the pizza joint.
Yeah.
It's going to say Elitch's overall food is a 2-star or whatever.
I think it's up to 2.5 now.
Yeah.
Not good. Only thing you ever purchase at Elitch's is Panda Express.
That is true. They do have Panda
Never
Express.
buy anything else.
I love Chinese food.
It's so good.
But at a bigger park like a Universal or a Disney park,
or SeaWorld even, they're popping up more so at SeaWorld now too with those reviews. Because I get reviews, like I was looking at eating at the Blue Bayou this last time that I was at Disneyland, and I looked up some reviews, and I mean it was like a 3.5. I think it was even a 4.5 out of 5 or something like that. Just for the overall atmosphere and experience.
You're sitting
and stuff.
in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Which last time we rode Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was yelling at people to throw me a roll.
Did they?
They didn't throw me a roll.
Boo.
But the people behind us were cracking up.
You're like, throw me a roll.
Throw me a roll. And they're just like, what? And then they started laughing, and then we really got the attention of a lot of people on there. And I was like, just throw me a roll, and I'll shut up and eat it and ride the ride. And some people were eating rolls as I was yelling at them. I'm like, hey, throw me a roll. And they stared me down like I was crazy as they were eating a roll.
Like, leave us alone. We're eating dinner. But see, these are good. There's a couple different things. One, because the reviews might help you make a decision on where to go. 2, the other thing is a lot of them include menus or pictures of the menu items, or, user-based information that's going to help.
Even like pricing on the food.
Yeah, exactly.
Relative to everything
or
else.
You get an idea of what's on the menu. So if you have a picky eater in your party or whatever too, you can go, hey, would you be willing to eat X, Y, and Z? And they go, yeah, okay.
Or even like if you have allergies or anything.
Yeah.
Very useful for determining what's on the menu, what you can or cannot eat.
Yeah.
Or what you will or will not eat.
Yeah.
So
just a general helpful piece of information. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, reviews give you an idea of what you can expect, and then 2, the other information included in that, prices and all that can help too.
Yeah, but again, all of this stuff is generally available on the theme park's website.
That's true.
So this is why we put it at number 8. It's super helpful.
But
again, the app is more convenient.
But you could Google around, or like you said, go to the park's official website and probably get a whole menu and everything else too.
Yeah.
But
I would highly doubt they put pricing on there. But
not typically. Like I know at Disney, you have to kind of go look pretty hard for it.
Which
a lot of
scour the
and
internet.
then forums
are
another good.
You gotta scour the
if you
internet.
just Google too, you're
Yeah.
going to come up with the information. But again, it's the convenience of the app,
and
the reviews help too.
Yeah. So this is why we put it at number 8, because it's not. It is very useful information.
Yeah.
We wanted to put an emphasis on that, but it's not like it's app specific.
Necessary. Yeah.
So
yeah,
app specific information.
Yeah, exactly. The information, because in fact, Yelp.com works just as well.
It exists.
So,
but yeah, I mean, I think from here on out, I would say these apps are app specific. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, from here on
No,
out.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely right.
Okay. So number 7.
I called this budget-minded apps. So
Okay.
this is the accounting software for your phone. So like the one I use is Mint.
Very useful.
Very useful. Essentially, I mean, really, it's just a fancy spreadsheet. It's just an Excel document, really, but it's really easy to use.
Phone friendly.
It's phone friendly because Excel would not be phone friendly and user friendly.
Horrible on a phone.
Yeah, if you're trying to do the equations in your phone, that's not going to work.
I've done it. It's horrid.
But this is because, like we talked about in episode number 10, our number 1 in episode 10 was a good attitude. And part of that was knowing where you're at financially and all that stuff. And so a budget-minded app comes in play because you're going to be able to track your expenses.
Way easier than just trying to do it all in your head.
And I don't know if Mint does it, but I know some of them you can literally snap a picture of a receipt and it'll basically scans it and autofill it, and that way you know exactly, okay, and you can dictate it as, okay, this was food or this was souvenirs or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I mean, if nothing else, it just keeps you aware of where you're at.
And aware of how much you're spending. Because I was not aware of that this last time I went out to Disneyland. I didn't spend a whole lot, but
it's easy. Yeah. Well,
it's easy to go.
And with like
haywire.
at Disney World, when you're using your Magic Band, it doesn't feel like money. No. You're just going boop, and you're just hitting your thing and signing, and you're walking away with merchandise or food or whatever. You're not even thinking about it.
Yeah. So this is just an easy way to keep yourself in check.
And there are a couple that are built for the parks or for that too, which is if that's something that you need. But again, there's a lot out there, and they're pretty simple to use. So
very easy, very user friendly, and the information that they provide can be invaluable.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially for keeping, like you said in our episode 10, I believe, number 1, you got to keep that good attitude, or else everything's just going to go down the drain and nobody's going to have fun. So if you're the person spending the money,
you need to be aware of where you're
at. Be aware of how much money you have and how much you can spend, and this is a good way to do that.
Yeah.
So number 6 is friend or family locator.
Yep.
So this is kind of like Find My iPhone.
Yep.
For people.
Well, in Apple and iOS, they have Find My Friends.
Yeah.
Or Find Friends or whatever it's called.
You can share locations with each other.
You can share it through text, through the Messenger app as well. So again, it might be built into your phone. I don't know Android all that well.
It's not on Android.
But there are
apps for it.
And I'm sure Apple
free.
too. There are probably apps that are even better than the Apple built-in stuff. But again, it's built in, so
there are some way better ones than the Apple built-in ones.
Yeah,
and they're free.
But this is a good one because some of these theme parks can be huge, like massive.
Like Animal Kingdom being pretty much the largest theme park in the world. Like what was it, 650 acres or whatever?
Yeah,
something ridiculous.
No, it wasn't
480 was it? Wasn't that?
What?
I don't know. Really big.
You're making up numbers.
Really big.
Now, granted, you can probably just text or get a phone call, but I may not hear. If I'm on a ride, I might not be able to answer my phone, or I might not hear my phone.
It was like 450 acres.
Was it?
Something like that.
Wow, that is huge.
It is massive.
So again, I mean, you might be able to get a hold of the person via other means, but they might be on a ride and they might not hear their phone or feel their phone vibrating. Like I never do. In fact, that's why I have an Apple Watch now, because I never feel my phone.
500 acres.
Holy mackerel.
5 times the size of Magic Kingdom.
Sheesh. Although Epcot's 300 acres.
Epcot is 300 acres.
Eesh.
Some big theme parks.
Yeah, so
You
I mean,
know?
it's easy to get lost if you're going to separate as a group. This is just it's a convenience thing. It's a
safety thing.
It's a safety
sometimes.
thing. Yeah, because you could put it on all your kids' phones
and then say, okay, go have fun. I know where you're going to be.
Yeah. And if you're not there when you're supposed to be, I'm going to come find you because I know where you are.
And pull you by the ear and take you where you need to meet up.
Yeah.
So, and if you're not answering your phone, like, come on.
So, I mean, and again, it's one of those things it's easy to download before the trip and put on everybody's phones and use on that trip.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy enough. And the information again, invaluable.
Yeah.
Very useful. Just makes your trip so much more streamlined.
So much easier.
Way more streamlined. Way more better.
It almost makes me wonder how we did this before cell phones, even where you could just call each other and say, "Hey, where are you at?" Now, even more, I can just go, "Oh, she's over at Splash Mountain," or whatever. You know?
Yeah, that's crazy to think.
Like, you literally would have had to say, "Okay, if we get lost at 2:00, or if we get lost, meet here
at this time,
or at this time, we're all going to meet here, and we're going to wait until everybody shows up." Or it's kind of mind-boggling now that we've had cell phones as long as I mean, I've had a cell phone for as long as I can remember.
I have not.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, your dad's kind of a cheapskate.
It's very cheap. Are you kidding me? Oh man, but it does make your theme park experience much more enjoyable.
It does, yeah.
And
it takes away that stress of getting lost or being lost or losing someone.
And it allows you to have a good attitude a lot easier.
Which, again, our number one in our top 10 things to bring to a theme park was a good attitude.
I think most of these apps really help in that.
Oh, totally.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So number 5. Twitter.
And specifically Twitter, I think social media in general is going to come up here next.
That's a different one, yeah.
But Twitter is really good about live updates, and a lot of the parks now have official Twitters.
Yeah.
Twitters?
Twitter handle. Yeah, I guess they're Twitter handles.
Twitter? Official Twitter?
Twitter accounts.
Yeah, Twitter accounts.
Even airports have them as well.
Yeah, and they're monitored typically by someone who will answer you if you tweet at them.
I always, whenever I fly through John Wayne, SNA, hashtag Team SNA.
They have a hashtag?
No.
Oh, you just made one up?
SNAVLAX. Team SNA is where I go. But every time I fly through there, it astounds me that I only have to wait like a maximum of 3 minutes to get through security. So I'll tweet at them and be like, I love flying through at John Wayne Airport because, and then I'll state my reason, and I'll get a response within 5 minutes of tweeting.
I mean, it's becoming like the new customer service phone number, instead
really
of it's like having somebody sit there and monitor Twitter and hashtags or the being tweeted at.
They'll tweet at me and be like, "Oh, thanks, Court. I hope you enjoy your flight."
Yeah,
or whatever, and I'll be like, sweet," and then I'll tweet at like Southwest.
Yeah, I mean, I've used it to tweet at Southwest. I mean, I was on a trip with a bunch of buddies and we tweeted the entire trip, and the Disney parks were tweeting at us the entire trip. I mean, it was like, and not only was that like really magical, we were like, what? Like blew our minds. But two, it was like if we had a question, we could like literally tweet at Disneyland today and we'd get an answer like you said within minutes. I mean,
yeah. And this also aids in like if there's a weather closure of stuff
or a malfunction closure or whatever.
Yeah, it would be like, "Hey, is Splash Mountain open right now? I'm on the other side of the park," and then they can tweet at you, "Yes, it is. Come enjoy a zippity-doo-dah-day." Yeah. Come have a zippity-doo-dah-day.
I'm sure they would say that.
They probably would. They do something like that.
So I mean, above all, not above all over social media, but just as a useful social media tool, I think Twitter is unique in that it's utilized that way by. And the direct communication is different and easier than like Facebook.
And it's also a better way to brag to your friends that you're at a theme park while they're not.
That's true too.
And it makes all of your friends who are stuck in school very jealous.
Which is number 4, why number 4 is important. And then I call this social media photos.
Yes.
Because this is more about sharing
The photos.
the photos, where like Twitter's is about sharing like your thoughts or your words, and you can share photos too.
Yeah. But this one
But
is,
this is
like these are specific to photos.
So under this we put like Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Because I'm sure there's some other photo
So
app
many
that
other
I'm
ones.
forgetting or
So
whatever.
many other
but
ones.
This is the way to like Court said, make your friends jealous, share your photos, show what you're doing.
I recently put up a photo on Instagram of me and Chewbacca. It got like 100 likes or whatever.
I know. That was crazy.
My top one before that was like 50.
Yeah, I noticed. I was like, dang.
And everybody at school the following day were like, dude, what the heck?
Yeah,
like,
awesome.
I wish I was at
I
Disneyland.
know.
Like, come on. And so, I mean, makes everybody jealous, makes bragging about going to a theme park a little bit easier, which I know we all enjoy doing. Don't deny it.
Well, and then, like I even enjoy Instagram after the fact. Like I know, like I mean, all of our photos are either they're from me from some point at some time when I went to
Yeah, it's either you or me.
yeah
One of us
one
take
of us
all
take,
of our
takes
Instagram
all of our
photos.
Instagram
Yeah.
photos. So I mean, it's a fun thing to do after the fact, but it's really fun to do there too. And that's
Yeah.
where like Snapchat comes in, Instagram stories. Now I know you were using our Instagram
Yeah,
a
and
little bit while you were in Disneyland.
we might be getting a few more updates here and there, because I may or may not have logged in some other people while we were at Disneyland, and so we might get some constant streams from Disneyland,
nice.
some feeds from Disneyland. We could have a live cam of Star Wars Land,
Nice.
24/7.
So I mean,
But
we put this high up there just because it really makes
sharing your experience,
Yeah.
so much easier. I mean, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
yeah.
And I post.
Plus, you can only get 140 characters on Twitter, so you know
That's true,
you
but
can get 1,000 words
but
with a picture.
but now pictures don't take up any characters.
That is nice.
It's very nice.
I think they also now
And links.
links. There's
and
and I think if you
if you're
tweet
adding
at
someone,
somebody,
it
yeah.
doesn't take up characters anymore,
nice.
which is very nice.
That is
Always
nice.
nice. Always
Yeah.
appreciate
'Cause
it.
it was a lot more. There's a whole strategy to it back in the day.
A lot of abbreviating words.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean, I use my Snapchat constantly when I'm at a park, and I get some really cool photos too. Like one time I had a photo that I didn't even realize that I took, and one of my friends was going through my Snapchat story, and I was like, "Oh, who took that photo?" And they're like, "You did." Because it was just one of those ones where I was just walking by like the castle at Disneyland, and
But
I took
happened
it.
to turn out really good.
I took it, and it turned out beautiful.
That's awesome.
And then I ended up putting it. I saved it, and then I ended up putting it on my Instagram. It got like, I'm not very popular, so it got like 40 likes.
That's pretty popular to me. I don't know.
Hey. Got like 40 likes, and then one of my friends' mom, I was over at her house, and her mom was like, "Hey, can I print this picture out?" And it was that picture, and I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And so now they have my picture framed in their house.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I mean, like, with these social media photos, some pretty cool things can happen out of it, and
Which transitions really well into our number 3.
it does.
So number 3 is photo apps. And the reason we separated this from the photo sharing aspect are these are the apps that like make your photos better,
Prettier.
prettier. So these are things like editing. Like I use Snapseed all the time. Like almost every photo I put up anywhere has been run through some sort of editing, either on the computer or on my phone through like Snapseed, which is
Yeah.
a free app, by the way. It's super like
And like Photoshop Express, that's
Yeah.
also free.
Yeah.
And very easy to use, quick editing tools.
Plus there's ones where you can add like graphics, or like the ones where you can, like for Instagram, for the square, you can make it like a whole collage, or like a 4-cell picture or more.
Or you can make GIFs out of them.
Yeah, or because Instagram just came out with Boomerang, which is like a loop, which is like a GIF.
Yeah. GIF.
I'm going with GIF. You go GIF. I'll go GIF. The other option is like Camera Plus is one that utilizes a little more of your camera's information, gives you a little more control. So if you are going to use your phone as the camera,
as your primary camera,
you can control a little more, do long exposure, short exposure, things like underexpose, overexpose, a little more easier than you can in the normal camera app.
And with that, you can get some really cool pictures that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise.
Yeah, if you're just using the normal, because your camera's going to try to.
It's just going to try to optimize it for whatever the conditions seem to be.
Not what you're seeing and saying, yeah, I want it a little darker, a little brighter, whatever. So.
Yeah, but even with like a long exposure, you can get those pictures that look like there's nobody in the park.
Yeah.
Because you did that last time that we went to Disneyland. Is you just propped it up on a trash can, set your exposure really long, and it looked like
then
Tomorrowland was
moved
empty
enough that it looked like Tomorrow. Yeah.
And you did it with Main Street again, and it was so cool.
Yeah.
And you can do some really cool stuff like that. You can, like these apps will allow you to really take full advantage of your camera on your phone.
Yeah. If you're going to use your phone as your main camera, I would suggest having something that is a little better than the standard camera app, because the standard camera app is kind of
meh.
Just meh. It's user friendly.
But it's nothing beyond that.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's simple.
It's user-friendly. And filters on Instagram can only go so far.
Yeah. So, and like in here too, I would put like hyperlapse, which is one that I use occasionally, which is from Instagram. It takes a time lapse, but while you're moving, and it does a really good job of stabilizing the footage. It looks really, really cool.
It looks awesome.
So I use that one a lot.
I know if you're doing, like, a lot of people use that when they're doing, like, in-park walkthroughs or on-ride videos.
Yeah, because it smooths it way out.
Stabilizes it so much.
Yeah, it looks like a stabilized camera.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
There's also, like, tilt-shift cameras.
Yeah.
That you can, or tilt-shift apps that automatically make everything look tilt-shift.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
Makes it look everything like miniatures. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Especially in a theme park. Yeah, if you get some really sweet, you can get some really cool coaster shots that are tilt shifts.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, did you make that model? And you're like, nope. Sure.
Yeah.
You think I did.
Yeah.
You think I did. I did.
Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunity to play around and just do better photography here. And that's why we put it at number 3, just below the sharing aspect, because even if you're just taking snapshots, that's awesome and you're sharing.
Yeah.
But number 3 kind of gives you the opportunity to make your photos better, take better photos, take interesting photos, or make interesting GIFs or hyperlapses
GIFs.
or videos or whatever else. So
which and I would say that these photo apps will make taking photos more enjoyable too.
They definitely do.
Nobody likes to take crappy photos.
No.
And taking photos is such a big part of theme parks now.
Yeah.
Especially like the big ones like Disney and Universal and SeaWorld and Busch, and even Six Flags is starting to push it a bit now too, and Cedar's pushing it too. Yeah. So I mean, if you're taking pictures, might as well make them look good.
Yeah.
And you might as well make it fun, which some of these apps really make. You can play around with them and make some really cool stuff really easily in a fun way.
Yeah.
So it just makes your trip so much more enjoyable, and it does bring you back into that happy mindset of a good attitude because you're producing a really cool product.
Yeah.
While you're having a fun time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you're preserving those memories too, which is fun.
Yes, always preserve the memories.
So our number 2 are what we're calling unofficial park apps.
Yes. Whether that be unofficial wait time apps
or general park information apps. Because I've seen both. And we were talking about it earlier before we started recording, is a lot of the parks have official apps. There are still those that don't. And so...
a lot of parks don't. So people have created apps for them. And they look really good, and they'll do pretty much everything that an official park app will do.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, it'll provide you with wait times. However, they might be user submitted wait times, or it'll be the best estimate for that time of day for that ride wait time.
Yeah, based on historic data or whatever.
Yeah. And it'll provide you. Generally, they'll provide you with a map of the park.
Yeah.
Whatever park you're in.
And then it'll at least help you like find a bathroom or find something to eat or those kind of things.
Or tell you where you're at in the park.
Yeah.
Because it'll just use your GPS location on there, and it'll say, hey, you're over by King Ka, but you want to go ride Bizarro. This is where you're at. Here are some path options.
Yeah.
So it's basically just like having a physical map that tells you wait times, as well as a few other updates. It'll give you like park hours generally.
Yeah.
And tell you, some apps I've seen tell you what rides, they'll highlight which rides are lower wait times than they should be,
cool.
which is very, very helpful, very useful.
Because we're already talking about it, the number one then for us is if there is one there, it's the official park app. It's number one.
Without a doubt, most useful app in really if you're going to any theme park, these apps are the ones that you must download. I don't care what theme park you're going to. If it has an official app, download it.
Use it.
I think every time they're free.
I can't imagine they would charge you for it.
I can't think of one that they're free. Yeah. One that's not. I can't think of one that's not free.
Yeah.
But these they will have pretty much guaranteed park hours for the day.
Yep. A map.
Ride closures in like live ride closures, so they'll tell you what rides closed at what time.
Yeah.
And then some of them even have push notifications, so you can set a notification where if a ride is closed, if it reopens, it'll send you a notification and be like, hey, Splash Mountain just reopened.
Awesome. Yeah.
Head over there now for a 5-minute wait.
Nice.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So useful information like that.
And some of them are getting pretty advanced too. Like My Disney Experience, which is the Disney World app.
It's crazy.
I mean, you can do directions within the parks. You can make fast pass reservations. You can do. I mean, you
can make dining reservations on there. It'll tell you the shortest way in the park to get from point A to point B.
I mean, it just enhances any park experience to a whole nother level.
It makes it
not only the information that it gives you, but the access to, like again, reservations, those kind of things. Just
whatever you could ever really need as soon as you step foot in that park.
Yeah.
That app is going to have any information that you could ever need.
Yeah.
And it just streamlines the process of the theme park experience, and it makes it so much more enjoyable.
Totally.
And so much easier.
Yeah.
It prevents people from getting lost, which is always helpful.
Yeah.
Especially if you're traveling with a large group, which I normally do.
Yeah, me too.
And plus, some of these other apps are built in to this official park app. So
like the shopping stuff or the dining reservations or restaurant information or whatever too.
Or sometimes it'll even tell you where's a good spot to take a picture.
Yeah.
I know Disney apps do that, right?
Yeah, they have.
I think they do. Yeah.
Kodak
spots
or whatever. Are they still
Nikon.
sponsored by Kodak?
I think they're Nikon now.
Oh.
Nikon picture spots.
Kodak really doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't at all. But it makes, so these apps, all of them, I would say, make your theme park experience more enjoyable than if you didn't have them.
Yeah. I mean, my when we created this list, our top 10, the reason was it enhances your visit to the parks. That was the only requirement.
That was requirement 1. Requirement 2, I wouldn't say it was the only requirement.
Yeah, okay.
At least for me. Requirement 2 was that it helps you have a positive attitude in the park,
because we find that to be so vital.
It's so vital and so often forgotten that, these apps.
It's true. It's easily forgotten. Yeah.
They're not going to make you have a good time in a park.
No, nothing can make you have a good time, but
Except
it's going to
you.
help you.
It's going to help you. It can push you along if you're kind of down in the dumps
Yeah.
or something. Which,
Or
you're
it can
down in the
prevent
dumps.
some of the things. Like, again, the budgeting app will let you know, hey, we're pushing our budget here.
Yeah, we're getting
We need to
close.
calm
We need
down
to-
a little bit. No more souvenirs, or
need to chill out with
no, you
the-
can't have your 12th Mickey bar for the day. Like
Yeah, these apps can really help you with whatever you need
yeah.
when you're in a theme park. And again, the official park apps have so much information within them.
Yeah, and a lot of these things are going to be integrated in, like you said.
Yeah.
Especially in the big, like Universal and Disney are really pushing that,
They're pushing it big time.
where they're putting even more into the apps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than just about any other park ever,
Yeah.
really.
No.
I don't know where else I can get a fast pass. Show.
Yeah,
I don't know where else I can make dining reservations.
yeah. No, I think it's all app based.
all
I
on
mean,
the
they're
app
moving
now.
a lot of it to the app. So
Yeah. So, download these apps, go to the parks, and tell us what you think.
yeah. And email us unmistakablymagic@gmail.com. We want to hear, especially if you guys have another app that you loved using, something we didn't think of.
Yeah. Tweet at us.
Tweet at us.
Tell us what you think.
Tell us what you think.
But yeah, I mean, anything else you want to say on these apps?
No, I mean, I think it was a good top 10, and
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think anybody else has really ever done a top 10 like this before.
I haven't heard it.
I haven't either.
We listen to a lot of
Yeah.
other podcasts. So.
We're number one. Plus, anytime I get to play Tron, always
This
appreciated.
is the only time I'm gonna let you do it, unless you go to Shanghai, then we can
Okay, when I go to Shanghai.
do it again. Well, that was episode number 16. Top 10 apps to bring on your smartphone.
Download on your smartphone.
Bring on your smartphone. I
For,
brought some apps
for any theme park.
for any theme park.
And
Obviously, there's ones very specific to the theme. Be aware that like if you're going to Disney World,
don't download the Disneyland app.
don't.
Don't download the Disneyland app if you're going to Disney World.
No, well, that I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, is it bad?
No, the Disneyland app is actually really good.
Especially because they didn't have an official one for a long time.
No, they didn't. And now it has like everything that the Disney World app has,
That's awesome.
except Fast Pass reservations.
Because they don't have
Which-
My Magic Plus.
Sucks. Needs to happen. But yeah, I mean, nobody. I can't think of any other podcast that's done this.
I mean, it's kind of it's something that we're all carrying them in our pockets, so we should
Might as well use them.
use them to the best ability while we're at the parks.
Yeah, and we gave you some apps or ideas for apps.
Yeah, because again, some of these things are going to be your preference. Like, the social media one is going to be your preference of, are you an Instagram person, a Facebook, Snapchat, or all of the above,
Yeah.
or something else we've never heard of. Because there's always new ones popping up.
Probably something
There's Beam, there's
MySpace.
Vine, there's MySpace, there's all of those. So
Is MySpace even around anymore?
I don't know. I should see if my login still works.
Have your top friends.
Yeah. Tom. Well, speaking of social media, don't forget to check out ours. Unmistakably Mag on Twitter. Unmistakably Magic on Instagram. Facebook.com/unmistakablymagic.
Unmistakablymagic.spreadshirt.com.
That's right. And then email us, unmistakablymagic@gmail. We'd love to hear your app recommendations. What are the ones you love using in the parks?
Yeah. Anything that
Is there
we
something
left
we
out.
didn't talk about that, you guys...
Anything we didn't. Any category of apps that we didn't really talk about at all. I'm
and
sure
even,
there's one
and
or
even,
two.
Even if it's something in one of our categories, I'd love to know, is there some photo app that you love using? Like
Yeah,
I said,
way
I use
more.
Snap. I literally go Snapseed to Instagram is about my workflow for photos.
I go Snapchat, and then if I see any good ones that I took on my story, download those and put them on Instagram.
Nice. Yeah, so email us, unmistakablymagic@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you guys with your top apps.
Also, even if you have any like show ideas or topics that you wanna hear us talk about, because
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, we don't know of any other podcast or really any other show that has done this before. This topic before. So we're down to tackle really anything theme park related.
Yeah.
At all.
We could do the top 10 shoes to wear at a theme park.
Covered ones.
We'll go test. We'll go test them.
Test all the shoes.
New Balances, Adidas, Nike.
I got some new shoes, and they're like walking on clouds.
Nice.
And it's beautiful.
Are they Crocs?
Great. Not quite.
Leave us a review on iTunes. We'd really appreciate that if you guys did that.
Helps us out a lot.
Tell your friends and family about us too.
Yeah.
Especially
if you enjoy us.
Your park friends.
Oh, yeah. Build a community.
That's right.
We love having conversations with people. If we get emails, we reply to them. If we get comments, we reply to them. If we get reviews, we like them.
Yeah.
So
we want your criticisms. We want to make our podcast better. So let us know what we can do.
We want to provide a high quality product.
Big thank you to our friend Dylan of Blast Off Branding for our sweet logo of Push the Trash Can.
It's always nice looking at him.
It is.
Looking at Push.
I love that logo. I want to get stickers made or something.
That'd be great. I'll add
we
that to the
should get a giant
spreadsheet.
one and put it on the wall behind us here.
A fat head of that.
Yeah. Totally.
That'd be so funny. I'll add that on the spreadshirt.
Yeah. Giant logo sticker.
Giant logo of Push.
Check out our friends over at the Unmistakably Star Wars podcast.
They have a pretty similar logo to Push.
Yeah, we may or may not have stole their idea.
Hey.
And their name.
We're creating a brand here. Whether they want it or not.
Yeah, I don't think
happening.
they do want it, but okay.
Who knows, man? Who knows? They're up in Hippieville, California.
Hippie. Yeah.
But they always provide some really cool.
They
cool
do.
topics.
They've been putting out a ton of shows. We talked about that last week. It's like every time I refresh my podcast app, there's something new from those guys. So.
It's sweet. We need to take some hints from them.
Yeah. Apparently.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
All right. Well, anything else?
I think that just about does it.
Okay. Have a magical week.
See you real soon.